All right, guys, this is a question that comes up a lot. It is, when can we enter a home after a 911 hang up, right? I should really say 911 hang up. And let me give you some context here from my email. All right, this officer is from Texas. You know, we often get sent to 911 hang up calls with no information provided by the caller. When we get on scene and someone answers the door, they typically tell us everything is fine. You know, inside it was an accident. My question is at what point do we have an obligation to go inside the home to check on the welfare of others? So the cop will typically ask if there's anyone else inside. And if they say no, and the cop doesn't have any reason to believe anyone else is inside, then the officer concludes the investigation and leaves. Now, if they tell the officer that someone is inside, I let them know that I want to check on the person, to check on their welfare, and typically give them the option of bringing them to the cop, right, to the door, or the cop is going to potentially make a forced entry and walk past the husband, let's say, and go check on people. Now, let's say that we get a 911 hang up, and upon meeting the caller at the front door, we are informed there was an accident, that they dialed 911 and everything is fine. They then tell us that there are other people inside, but no emergency exists. We don't see anything that would indicate an emergency, don't hear anything that would give us exigent circumstances to enter the home. The question is are we obligated to check on the rest of the residents' welfare inside the home? And if we enter the home without consent or any other exigency, would that be violating the person's rights? All right. This is a great question, and you know that this comes up all the time. So let's just kind of address it. Now, first of all, the laws, you know, the officer kind of recognizes that he's did some research, and the case law is a little over the place. I will say that the majority of the cases seem to be supportive of the officer's actions, right? Of going in, of making sure that people are okay. 911 hangups, you know, can be pretty serious, but this is 2021. This is not your grandparents' police department. There was a lot of stuff going down today that would never have gone down even 10 years ago. So the game that we're playing today is way more advanced. It's way more protective of your liability. Okay. So with that said, here's what I teach. Number one, what is the rule? The rule is this falls under the emergency aid exception. This does not fall under community caretaking. We know that community caretaking does not apply to homes, right? We have that from a U.S. Supreme Court case called Coniglia versus Strom. Community caretaking is a relatively low standard where cops just want to make sure that people are okay. That's not the standard that we use anymore. We are definitely in the ballpark of exigency, emergency, urgency, and that falls under the emergency aid exception. So therefore, in order for you to push past the husband, for example, and check on the occupants, you're going to be able to need to articulate some ongoing emergency where time is of the essence. The 911 hang up is certainly a big part of that. But what I would like you to tell me is something more. I'm sure there's something more. Okay. If all you have is a 911 hang up, and the person saying, hey, look, it's just a mistake, you know, the kids were playing with the phone or whatever, I would be careful. But Anthony, there could be somebody dead or dying in there. I get it. And with freedom comes tragedy, right? So sometimes people do get hurt when you actually respect people's rights and you don't necessarily just, you know, push your way in on every single 911 hang up simply because it's a 911 hang up. Accidents do happen. Tragedies also occur. You know, it's the same argument for the Second Amendment, right? The Second Amendment causes tragedy. It's just the way a freedom-loving society works. So my point here is that I would want my cops to have something more than simply a vanilla 911 hang up. I would want to see any blood on the ground. I would want to see the husband acting abnormally nervous. I want to see a history at the house. I want to see broken dishes. I want to hear that the neighbors are saying, yeah, they've been going at it like cats and dogs. I want to see kids, you know, there's kids in the house and, you know, you see one of them and they look scared and so forth. I would like cops to have something more. Usually there is something more. Okay. Look at the person's behavior. Is the husband lying to you? Is there any kind of deception there? Right? And the cop says, do we have an obligation? Well, this may surprise you, but generally speaking, the answer is no. Not a legal obligation. You may have a moral obligation. You may have a policy. You may have your sergeant saying, hey, look, we're going to go clear that house. And you go from there, right? But as far as a legal obligation, it's very hard to hold cops responsible for situations where they don't go in because they don't feel like they have the proper ingredients to go in and justify, emergency aid exception, and somebody actually is hurt in the house and they try to sue you. It's very hard. Okay. I'm not saying that they can't sue you, but it is extremely hard. But I'm not here the message of, go about your career, and just because they can't sue you, that means you're not going to do anything. Do the right thing though. There are some times when the right thing to do is to turn around and leave the house. I mean, it's just the way it is. That is part of a freedom-loving society. So in 2021, okay, and beyond, it's only going to get harder. If you are going to push your way past that occupant, I really would like you to have several reasons about why do you think somebody in that house needs or wants your help. Needs or wants your help. Tell me why. I promise you, in the vast majority of these cases, if there is something going on, there's something there. There's clues there. Look, open your eyes, look for those things. Look for all the telltale signs that something more is going on there, more than just a simple hang up and the husband is, telling you that everything is fine. He doesn't want you in the house. Okay. But that's the answer. I wish I had something better. I wish I had something black and white. I don't have black and white. I can't tell you 911 hang up equals an entry. That's not the rule. And you would be very hard pressed. You would have a bad day in court if you went into and you were getting sued, or, you're getting I-8 over this, and you simply said, I go in every single time there's a hang up. That's not really the rule. Instead, it's the emergency aid exception. Tell me why. Okay. That's the best I can do for you. You have to make these decisions. I can't make them for you. But I do teach report writing, and I do have a rule of 5. Give me 5 reasons about why you did what you did. You would be surprised if you really push yourself, how many things are out there. That's what I have for you. I hope it helps. Do the best job you can. And, you're doing the right thing, but just tell me why. All right. And it is okay sometimes to back down and to turn around and leave the guy's house. With that said, do me a favor. Hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends about us. All right, my friends, until next time, stay safe.
When it comes to law enforcement training, we are the gold standard. Visit bluetogold.com or call 888-579-7796 to learn more about our training, books, and free webinars. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel.